Now we're going to focus in on the trust. And I'm going to talk to you about a few critical questions that I think need to be considered when you're trying to plan what should my trust say. And for those of you who already have a trust, this is good for you to listen to, because you might hear something that makes you say, oh, maybe I should update my trust. And that happens a lot. We do a lot of updates in my law firm because life changes. Things change, and you want it to be lined up and solid. Make it easy for your family. Okay, so the number one thing to think about, well, what if I become incapacitated? Of course I made that number one. I already told you I have a bias about worrying about incapacity. Something that people don't always think about. If you become incapacitated and you are, every month, you are sending one of your children $200, or you have an elderly parent and you're helping pay their rent, or whatever it is, if there's somebody who is financially dependent upon you, and then you become incapacitated and your trust doesn't say anything about that person, your trustee, when they take over, they are not going to be able to continue that plan that you had in place. That you were supporting somebody, you were paying your child's cell phone bill, whatever it is, it needs to be considered, and if it's important to you, it needs to actually get into your documents so that your trustee can continue that, if that's what you want. And a really big one that happens a lot, and this is very unfortunate, a lot of times, especially older people, our age, mature people, they have a significant person in their lives, but they don't want to get married. And there's lots of reasons not to get married after the first time. I get that. And so they may have a home that is owned by one person, and the other person lives there because, they're sweethearts and they want to be together. But if you become incapacitated and your trustee has to take over, and it doesn't say anywhere in that document, oh, it's okay if my boyfriend continues living in my home, the trustee can't allow that. The trustee's going to have to either get him out of there or charge him rent. And that might not be what you want. So this is one that happens a lot. People have to think about who's financially, entangled with me. And living in your home is a financial entanglement if they are not also on the title to your home. Another one that we see a lot, we have a lot of clients who have their home and then they also have a rental property or multiple rental properties. That's not very unusual. And they may have a child who's living in one of their rental properties, and maybe they're paying rent, maybe they're not. Maybe the rent they're paying is not fair market rent. The parents, this is very common, parents give their child some kind of sweetheart deal on the rent. Then if the parent becomes incapacitated and the next trustee takes over, if we haven't said anything about it's okay to continue this sweetheart deal if I'm incapacitated, if the trust doesn't say that, the new trustee actually has to do the right thing, which is to make that property productive, to make it charging fair market rent. There's nothing wrong with a parent giving their own child a deal, but you got to be really clear. If that's what you want to continue, you need to talk about that in your trust. And I'm sure as you're sitting here, you can imagine other examples of something like that, where people tend to, help each other out in whatever way. And if it's important enough to you that it continue, you need to talk to your lawyer about it and make sure that's documented for your family. Otherwise, there's going to be, when people disagree, when things happen and somebody sees it one way, somebody sees it the other way, the end result oftentimes is litigation, and we definitely don't want that.
If you need help with your estate planning or administration, we also offer a free discovery call to help get the process started. You can find more information on booking your session by visiting absolutetrustcounsel.com/scheduling.